How's it going, you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Home Repairs, and today I want to quickly walk you through the adjustment of your kitchen cabinet door hinges. Now, this is valid for upper cabinets, your base cabinets, even your bathroom vanity, or even some of your storage spaces are going to have similar cabinet hinges to this, and you're going to be able to solve 99% of your issues with 3 major adjustments that we'll review. And although the door behind us, the one we'll be predominantly using, uses a compact concealed design, we'll touch on other designs to make sure we get all homeowners across the finish line with the different cabinet hinge designs that are out there. Now, there's a number of different types of hinges, but the most common you're going to see nowadays are concealed hinges. All that means is that they are concealed. When you look at the outside of a cabinet, this is a standard upper kitchen cabinet, you do not see the 2 hinges on this side or the 2 hinges on my opposing side because everything is integrated and concealed back here on the door and on the face frame. So the hinge that we'll be adjusting today is a compact concealed hinge where it actually mounts to the face frame. So you have a face frame on the outside of your actual cabinet box. Alternatively, you have this European design, and if you got your kitchen cabinets from IKEA, this is probably what you see. But you also see this on different types of furniture. On your door side, it's very similar, right? It's concealed. You're going to have to actually cut into the door to conceal this portion of the hinge. Your soft close portion is integrated in that part, but this one usually clips into place on a separate bracket. So this separate bracket would actually be mounted to the cabinet box because there is no frame to mount that on. And then just know each of these main categories has many different versions, such as cheaper versions still mounting to the face frame here. Just know it's going to have less features, but you can still do all your adjustments, even though it's not quite as nice as your higher end ones. So our first adjustment will focus on moving the doors left or right. Usually the 2 reasons why you would do this, either you have a hard interference at the top or the bottom, or the gap between the 2 doors is inconsistent and doesn't look very good. So in this instance, we know we have a hard interference and we need this door to move to the left side. All we're going to be doing is adjusting the screw right here, and if you turn it in the clockwise direction, it actually has a cam which will rotate and push the door to the left, and then the counterclockwise direction will move it to the right. So we know we need to move this door out to the left, and sometimes your adjustments will need not only to be made here, but also on the other door to ensure you have the proper clearance and gap consistently top to bottom. So now testing out our work, we'll see if the cabinet closes, which it does. So now the door shuts, but don't forget you would want to look top to bottom to make sure you have a consistent gap. And specifically for this instance, it's a little tight at the top, so I'm going to make an adjustment to the upper left-hand corner as well to get a consistent gap. Then taking a look at the other designs with the cheaper version, the left to right adjustment is again going to be made at the same position as the one we just adjusted. Now here is a different design, and you can see there actually is no screw up front. So the left to right adjustment is actually made from this screw right here. Additionally, one thing most homeowners don't know is you can see that looks like a Phillips head, but there's actually little tick marks coming off each of the corners. Those tick marks indicate that this is actually what's called a posi drive bit. And you can see there's little splines in between the standard Phillips head. That posi drive bit is the actual bit that is meant for this type of screw or fastener. So that is the ideal. This is a PZ1 bit or a posi drive bit, but if you look below this video in the description, you'll see a link to our Amazon store. And in the Amazon store, you'll see the 14-in-1 Klein tool screwdriver that I'm using. That has all the different bits that fit most of my needs around the house. And then that's exactly where I purchased additional bits for these posi drives, and that is where I store them so I have them when I need to adjust these kitchen cabinet hinges. And then if we look at that European design, it's going to be similar to the last one where that set screw right here is going to do your left to right adjustment. Now let's move on to the second adjustment you can make. And that is in the vertical direction, whether it's up or down. In the classic cases, you're going to see a little bit of misalignment. Usually if it's an upper cabinet, you'll see that right at the bottom because it's pretty noticeable. So the adjustment's very easy on this one. We're going to go with this bottom screw. This one actually is a Phillips head. We're going to turn it in the clockwise direction, which is going to send it up. Counterclockwise would be down. But the thing here is you not only need to adjust this bottom hinge, you also need to adjust your top hinge. So that is the big difference between the left to right adjustment. Usually that's just going to be one hinge at a time. This one you kind of got to go back and forth a little bit, going from top to bottom to move your door vertically up or down to get the alignment where you need it. And then looking at some other designs, remember this is kind of a good, better, best. That's one in features, quality, and also probably price. For the good and better, you can see the mounting hole. The mounting hole for the face here is actually slotted. So what happens with these is you take your mounting screw and you'll just loosen that mounting screw up, and then you'll be able to move the hinges in the vertical direction. And don't forget, that's loosening the bottom and top hinges for both these versions to get your vertical up and down movement. And then this always confused me, but you can see you have your adjustment screws are actually PZ or Posi Drive 2s, and then you're going to need a Phillips bit to actually adjust that screw for the vertical direction. So not the best design, knowing that you're going to need to actually swap out bits if you want to use the right tool for the job. Then if we look at the European design, this screw, this PZ2 screw that's offset, that is actually attached right here to a cam, and then that will move the mounting bracket respective to the actual hinge in the vertical direction up and down. We'll do a little example here and you'll see that bracket is moving up and down, giving us the adjustment in the vertical direction. And then the third adjustment is moving it in and out. And that is really focused on adjusting this gap between the front face and your door in the fully closed position. So adjustment is right here, and moving in the clockwise direction, you'll see that moves the door out. So it increases the gap between the door and the face frame, and moving it counterclockwise brings it in. So looking at our other designs, the good design actually doesn't even have this adjustment. So that is not even one of the adjustments you can make. The better design is similar location, and it's actually a PZ2 set screw here, and that will move similar to the one I just demonstrated. And then for the European design, the set screw all the way out on the end here, similarly will in the counterclockwise direction move it out, clockwise direction move it in. So those are your three adjustments that are going to get you out of pretty much any issue you have with your cabinet doors. Now, one of the best upgrades you can do to your kitchen is if you have a little bit older kitchen, the cabinets are still in great shape, your color's good, or maybe you're painting those cabinets, you can actually get a modern soft close feature by just swapping out your hinges, and often you can find direct replacements with a little bit of knowledge. Check out this video right here and I'll walk you through the complete process when I did that exact project around my house. So thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll catch you on that next one. Take care.